It's Overbooked
Okay, so we are jumping into chapter 7 in with Sarah, who is in Devon, England in May 2013. So basically, just to set up the chapter, the beginning couple of scenes here, Sarah has successfully convinced John Langford to show her information about his relative and therefore also maybe about her relative, Patrick. The chapter starts with this really kind of cutesy dialogue between John and Sarah, where Sarah is clearly hungover from the amount of gin that they drink the night before. And she's getting a little carsick and already probably a little hungover and everything. And so she learns the Cockney rhyming slang for vomit, which is Wallace and Gromit, in case our listeners are listening or wondering. There's a lot happening in the car. We learn a little bit about John's ancestries and how his family has a extraordinary amount of luck. And John even mentions that. He says that his ancestors, you know, they just kind of stumbled upon this thing and it made them lots of money. And so lots of stuff happens and they get very lucky, his family, the Langfords, which we also learn another Langford is lucky, Robert Langford, who is currently on board the Lusitania in the story with Caroline and Tess. We know that Robert survives and that he marries an American.
I'm going to jump in here about Robert.
Okay.
So you do mention that they had great luck, but I want to jump back because part of this family history is also an unlucky family history. The first family secret that is divulged from John to Sarah is that Robert's brother James died of drowning. And the other funny, humorous, good luck, bad luck combo is Mrs. Finch. She's a little bit of good luck and a little bit of bad luck. And she was hilarious. She's good luck because she's almost like John's grandmother. That's the vibe that I was getting. But when she meets Sarah, she's whacking her up the head with a broom. She's described as having large eyes, but she's very old, but she wears glasses. So she's compared to a Disney princess. I thought, okay, maybe she's going to turn into a fairy godmother figure here. But she assumes that Sarah is John's ex-wife. She can't see. She can't hear. She's very old. So the bad luck is that she's super old and kind of more trouble than she's worth, but the good news is that she seems like a lovable character once you get past the broom whacking.
Okay, and then I have another good luck, bad luck situation for the Langfords. So we know that John Langford's ex-wife is named Calliope, so Callie. We learned that Callie took the last Langford whippet, which was like the last family whippet, and we'll kind of go more into this in I think it's Tess's chapter where actually Robert Langford talks about the first whippet that they have. So there's another good luck, bad luck. John marries someone and they take the last dog in the divorce. Not so great. Yeah, I love Mrs. Finch's character. I think that she's absolutely hilarious. I think we both had the same quote, Abby, that we liked this chapter. And so there's a few moments where Sarah and John, they're talking, they're having tea, and there's this quote that Sarah kind of says, and she says, "For an instant, our eyes held together. There was a brief electric connection, like when you put a pair of wires together and set off a spark. And for the space of that second, I forgot my own name." Like that, I mean, that's like Sarah's deep into feelings for this guy right now, and maybe it's because she's so excited and she's got a lot of adrenaline built up because I don't know, she's about to learn more information that she wants to learn. But I think this is just a nice change of pace for her, and I think John Langford, is constantly surprising Sarah.
I love that quote. When you really sit and think about it, you set off a spark. And for the space of the second, you forget your own name. Oh, it's huge. It's absolutely huge.
There is a strange lack of food in this chapter. Like, Sarah is hungover, so she's already kind of looking for food. She's like, okay, when are we going to eat type of thing. And it's like, I don't know if it's a thing in England, but they're just like, oh yeah, we'll just find whatever there is to find. And so there is kind of a strange dichotomy against like English cooking versus American cooking, and Americans kind of always having food whenever they want it, and how different it is in England.
The other piece that I loved from this chapter was Sarah's dialogue at the end when she's literally shaking because she'll be the first one to see the papers. After Robert died, his wife locked up the house where he worked and he wrote books and papers. I'd like to see him in the role as a writer because I tend to think of a writing profession as almost cushy. I know that they have to do a lot of work. We've seen that from Sarah, busting her butt across town to go to the book clubs. But you think that they get to sit in their house and write, and it feels a little cushy, as opposed to his job on the Lusitania, which is very much working man, on his feet. He's working hard, physical labor. So I'd like to see where those worlds collide a little bit. What were your thoughts, EJ, about Sarah's upcoming discoveries?
Well, I think maybe the most important thing that I took from this chapter was that Sarah is a very expressive person. Okay, so Sarah, like you said, is like shaking. I mean, the author describes her as shaking and completely shocked. And she stops what she's doing when John says that they're going to be the first people to actually review Robert Langford's papers. She is completely shocked. And he reads it. John reads it all over her face. He knows that she's either excited or not excited, but he knows that she is excited to learn more. But as to why she's excited, maybe we don't fully know. Maybe it has to do with her potential feelings for John. There was a quote that happened right after, well, not right after, a couple of lines after the electric connection that we loved so much, which kind of sums up what I'm saying here, that she says, "My face, damn you, fair Irish skin, went aflame, and if I could have shrunk like Alice and dived into my teacup, I'd have eaten a mushroom on the planet, and I don't even like mushrooms." Okay, so this, Sarah is basically saying she will do anything for this to stop. She's feeling embarrassed by all of this that's happening.